That was like me kicking him out of my life.
Okay.
Hi, this is Kimberley. Now don't start hollering, but this is the intro. This right here. Just a few words of me saying this is part 2 of Cricky and Panada doing her August 16th, 2018 interview with CBI Agent Koback. Oh, and I took out the word like, shit like that. Or stuff like that. Things of that nature. Yeah, that's it. I cut out all the bullshit and the filler words. And my intro got to running so long that I think it was going to be rivaling the length of this video. Yeah, I got to doing the chatty Cathy and thing. That. So it got ridiculous. It's going to have its own video, okay? Okay. Hope you enjoy this one. Much love and peace. Thank you for listening.
If he can get away with murder, you're not going to... I got divorced from my wife. Do you understand what I'm saying here? If she's gone...
But this...
Don't lead.
Hypothetically.
Please, don't lead on.
Hypothetically. If she... Okay. You understand where I'm going. If
right,
you
but
didn't know...
You're leading into questions that are nothing with your...
If you didn't know, though...
Wait, Nick.
That she was there.
Did you hear what I said?
I'm following you. I just want her to answer a question that relates to, she said something that's important, that if he didn't have a child on the way, or if she didn't know that, she would have continued the relationship, right?
But he killed his kids. At what point does he think that I'm going to be in a relationship?
I'm not talking about the children. I'm just talking specifically about her. If you only knew, if the kids were still here and he called you and said, I'm divorced from my wife, and he gets away with this, do you understand what I'm thinking? From his aspect.
I still wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't do it because I'd be like, where did she go?
Okay.
Because I'm under the impression that she's a really good mom. Like, he never bashed her momming skills. No, I wouldn't, no.
Okay.
No.
And that's, you see where I'm trying to take that?
Yes.
So you guys never had a conversation about the child, period?
I didn't know at all.
And by your words, if you did know, you would have ended the relationship.
Well, because it wouldn't have made sense to me that I'm getting separated. Oh, by the way, I have a baby on the way. It's 15 weeks. You are a liar. You're just trying to sleep with me. That's what I would have probably interpreted that as, and I'd have just shut that off at work, and that would have been the end of it.
Okay. All right. The week that he comes back from North Carolina, you don't remember, somewhere in the first couple of weeks of August?
Yeah, I think it was the second week, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
So we'll just use August as a time frame. Is that fair? Because you know he left in July and he comes back in August. How many times do you think you see him?
I saw him a few times. I saw him this past Saturday. I saw him the Wednesday before that. And he wanted to see me more. I was the one who wanted my space. I was like, nope, your kids are home. Go hang out with your kids. And even on Wednesday, I cut it short. He came and hang out with me for a few hours, and then I was go chill with your kids. I was always really respectful.
Do you know specifically where you guys went? Did you meet at your house? Did you guys go to any restaurants? Did you go to establishments?
Last Wednesday, he came to my house. And this past Saturday, we went to, what's the name of that bar that we used to go to? It's not the same, the Lazy Dog, but it's the one off of 144th and I-25. I think it's 144th, up there.
And it's the Lazy Dog?
Yes.
Did he ever mention a Rockies game that night?
No, I don't think so. But the Broncos were playing.
Okay.
Which we couldn't see because they sat us in really crappy spots, but it's okay because it's preseason. But...
So, do you recall what time you went there?
No. I remember, well, kind of. So, he had to get a babysitter that night.
Do you know who that was?
Somebody who's really young. I remember I asked him who his babysitter was, and he's like, we have 2. This girl's only 17, but the other one's out of town, so this girl's gonna stay, and she doesn't do overnights, so I gotta be back by 10. And I remember her saying that, and him saying that. And I don't know what time he got to my house. It was between, I want to say 5:30. It might have been 5, but I don't think so, because I think the babysitter, if I remember correctly, showed up at 4:30 or something, and he was, I want to spend time getting my kids acclimated to her, and then I will come.
So his children didn't even know her?
Oh no, they knew her, but he was saying he likes to stay there for a little while he doesn't just walk out the door when they show up. It's like a transitional thing. And so that's why I'm saying I don't know how long it was. I want to say 5:30. And then he had to be back by 10. So he left at 9 something to be back by 10.
So probably, he picked you up? What was he driving?
No, he didn't pick me up. He came to my house. We drove my truck.
Okay. So he gets to your house. You know what he was driving to get to your house?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he usually drives that Lexus, but he doesn't always park it in my complex because the parking, there's not good spaces. So where you guys pick me up at, a lot of times he'll just park out there because there's room.
Okay.
So that kind of works so that because there's just not a lot of room in my apartment complex. But off the top of my head, I don't know what he was driving.
What kind of truck do you drive?
I drive a Toyota 4Runner.
So you guys take your 4Runner to the Lazy Dog.
Yep.
And you said they sat you in crappy locations.
It's just
Where were you inside the bar?
When you walk in, you just hang a right, and we were one of the first 2 booths on the right when you walk in the door. It's just not it's a good spot, but just not for the TVs. And we actually went to the other Lazy Dog. We went to the one that you and me go to. Where's that at? Federal and 120th. It's 120th and Federal, and we went there, and they have a different menu, and I don't want to eat this food, so we should go to the other one.
So initially you go to the 120th
Yes.
location. Did you actually get seated?
Kind of, sort of. They were cleaning off a table, and we were standing there just kind of looking at the beer menu and the food menu, and I don't want this. And so we left.
6 o'clock?
Probably somewhere around there, 6:30, and then we left and went to the other one, and we ate dinner.
And you're in like first or second booth right to the right of the door. I'm just asking because if they have video, we want to be able to verify that. So that's why it's important. And you're there for how long?
I don't know. Probably we didn't stay for dessert, so I don't know. How long's the restaurant take? An hour and a half?
I've never been to the Lazy Dog.
I don't know, probably about an hour and a half, and then we went back to my house for a little bit, hung out at my house for a little while, and then he had to leave, and then he left.
Do you recall what time you left?
Off the top of my head, no. I remember he was going to be late to be back at 10. I think there's a text message where he starts texting me when home at his house.
Okay.
So you can probably figure that out. And I remember I texted him back and I was, damn, that was quick. Or, wow, that was really quick. He's, yeah, I even had time to stop at the ATM or stop at the gas station, stop somewhere to get money to pay the babysitter.
Okay.
And I was just thinking, well, that was really fast. But I think he was still a little late coming back, but nothing too drastic. So he probably left my house somewhere around 9:30-ish.
All right. And you go straight home, he texts you.
Well, I was already home.
Right, no, he texts you. He goes straight home from your house and he texts you that he's home. So that should be.
It should be. I'm pretty positive that was not a phone call. I'm almost positive that was a text. Sometimes I get them flip-flop or I don't remember, but sometimes I know. I'm pretty sure that one was a text.
Saturday during your dinner, what kind of conversation did you guys have?
So he's been trying to eat a little healthier than he normally does. And he's always been into working out since I knew him. And he tries to eat clean, but he was trying to step it up a little bit. And nothing, the people who do the competitions and the shows that are all super restrictive, it was nothing like that. It's just day-to-day general maintenance. But it's how I eat, and it's pretty healthy. And he's been losing a lot of weight. He lost, I want to say 13 pounds in the time that we were hanging out. And honestly, when you start eating a little bit cleaner and you start working out a little bit harder the first couple months, especially for a man because they lose weight faster. It's not something that's that drastic to me, but it did stand out that it was a little much, and so I was, whoa, maybe you're not eating enough macronutrients, so let me look at them. So he had been working on his MyFitnessPal app, programming all the stuff he eats, and I just started going through them, and I was trying to figure out where his ratios were, and we actually spent a lot of time doing that because he'd asked me to do it for him, because I just was at the point where I was, if his weight loss slows down in a few weeks, he'll be fine. And if it doesn't, then his macros are a little off. It's not that big of a deal in the workout community. This is a very normal thing, but
Did you have any other outside concerns, like potential drug use, alcohol use, any of that stuff that led you to go, hey, he's lost an extreme amount of weight in such a short period of time?
No, and I wouldn't call it extreme. It was just, it was a lot. But I mean, when I first started working out, I dropped 12 pounds in 2 weeks when I first started hitting it hard with the diet. So the fact that he lost that much weight, it wasn't, like I said, it was not a surprising amount. I just didn't want it to be a sustained amount. But no, I didn't think anything weird of it just because of how knitted I am with the workout community, and I know this is possible. But it just, the thing that concerned me about it, I guess, and it wasn't even concerned, but the thing that kind of red lighted me, hey, this might be carrying on, is the fact that his macros were pretty dialed in. I wrote them and he didn't stay exactly on them, but his calorie intake was about where it needed to be, my experience anyways, for what he was trying to achieve. And so, I don't know, he didn't seem to have a problem with it. He liked where he was at with all of that.
So that was your main conversation Saturday?
That was a big chunk while we were there, is us actually going through, because I was going through each item. Why are your ratios off?
Do you know where his kids or wife were that night?
On Saturday?
Yeah, his kids. Well, you know his kids are with the babysitter. Do you know where his wife is?
She's in Arizona.
Okay. How do you know that?
Because he told me.
Okay. You know what she's doing there?
I think she's on a business trip. He didn't even tell me right away. He actually told me, I think, on Saturday or something. It might have been like Friday or something. I honestly don't remember. I just remember I was really surprised where he's, hey, I'm going to try to get a babysitter if you want to hang out or something like that. And I was, why do you need a babysitter? Like, your wife's home. He's like, no, she's out of town. I was like, oh, okay.
Is there much conversation regarding that, her on being on a trip, or the children during those conversations?
Not really. I just asked him what time she was coming home on Sunday, and he just said really late.
Okay.
And that was it. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about with that.
So your conversation's mainly health related. You guys return to your house, and then he goes home, and then you talk to him for a few hours on Sunday.
Did I? Are you asking me or are you telling me?
I'm asking you.
Oh, I don't even know. Someday, honestly, so wait a minute. That was Saturday. We're talking about Saturday. We're not talking about Sunday right now.
Okay, so you're still on Saturday.
Yes.
You guys have a phone conversation when he gets home?
That was the day that he got the babysitter and I went out to dinner, not Sunday.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure
That's
you
okay.
got your days right. So Saturday, yes, we went out. He had the babysitter. He went home. I'm sure we did. We always talk on the phone. And honestly, I mean, Mark asked me that the other day. How long are you on the phone? 15 minutes, 20 minutes? You're going to have to look at the records, to be honest with you. So much.
He liked to talk, I can tell a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
400 when she was young. She'd crank out about 400 words a minute, gusts up to 600. That little thing can yak, man.
You're a talker, so I'm letting you talk.
Use the restroom if I
Let
can.
me show you where it's at.
Can you
So
give me some water while you're out there with
Sure.
him, please? Thank you.
Another bottle.
Yeah, at least one.
let's move to
Sunday.
Sunday. Well, let me reverse something. Your conversation with the children, or about the children, was there ever talk about medical concerns with either of the children?
Well, I know Cece is allergic to pine nuts.
So she has a nut allergy.
Yes.
Did they take meds?
Yeah, I know that she had EpiPen, but as far as I know, she didn't have any meds, but I never asked. I was just told she has a pretty severe allergy. And
Enough to carry an EpiPen, that's pretty severe.
yeah, while we're on this, so when he was in North Carolina, this is all hearsay now because this is not a conversation. He's telling me this stuff, but who knows exactly what happened. But he went out there to go see his family and her family. And while he was in town, before he went out to North Carolina, I guess his mother had accidentally not exposed her to something with nuts, but had given a product, I think it was ice cream, to a different kid that could have traces of nuts or something. I don't know. But it was, his daughter was fine, but she was in the range of contamination. And I think his wife very upset about that. And when he got to North Carolina, he told me that he was supposed to spend like them, half the time with her family, and that was supposed to be what it was. I don't know. But he said that he went to go see his family and they weren't answering the phone for like a day or two before he went out there. And then when he got there, there was a note on the door that said, "Son, if you step by, we're at the beach." And they ignored him for most of the time that he was out there. And
His own family?
yes, his mom, his dad, and his sister.
What's the significance? Do you know why?
Yeah, he said, and again, I don't know what is true with this man anymore and what's not, but he told me that leading up to it, I was like, well, why are your folks ignoring you? And I was really concerned about this. Every single day he would talk to me when he was out there. You talked to your family today? You talked to your family today? Did you talk to your dad? What happened? Did you talk to him? No, I didn't. Or yeah, I talked to my mom. Well, what'd she say? Are you going to hang out with him? I wanted him to see his people because it's important. Family is an important thing. You know, it just needs to function properly. And
Sure.
And so I was, well, and he was like, well, they're ignoring me. And what do you think happened? And he's like, I'm not really sure, but I think something was said between my wife and them during that incident. And he's, because
The
every time
peanut
that happened
nuts.
before he got there, yes. And he's, because every time that I talk about possibly going over there to see if they're home, she gets upset about it. And I'm like, okay. And he told me that his mom and his wife did not get along at all. He said that his mom didn't even show up to his wedding because she's really did not care for Shanann. So again, I don't know what's true and what's not, but I just know that there was some tension there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that part is, I think it's almost third party, so that's why it's
Sure.
like I didn't even
Well, but
bring
it
it up
came
the
from
other
him
day.
to you, so it's not. It is something that whether it's important or not, we can validate that. I'm sure we will be having some conversations with family. You know, what does it mean? I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't know either, but I just know,
so
like,
maybe I don't know.
well, and then he ended up seeing them on the last full day that he was there, and they told him supposedly that she had gotten really upset and then screamed and yelled in front of Chris's sister's kids that are very young, and to his mom and to his dad, and said, "You're never going to see Chris again. You're never going to see the babies," and just threatened them, and then like walked off. And I guess that was the incident that happened prior to him coming out there, and then she didn't tell him about it. She just let it go, and then he just spent all week trying to figure out why his family was not trying to be involved.
Gotcha.
So again, I'm not sure. It just feels really third party, so it's hard for me to talk about because
Sure.
like, I don't know how
That's
much
okay.
validation
So
there is in all that.
beyond the nut allergy for CC, did you know of any other? Did she take meds that you know of other than carrying an EpiPen?
His kids or his wife?
No, his children.
No.
And now, well, if you know anything about his wife's medical conditions, if she had any.
No, I've read in the newspaper they keep saying, oh, she had medical conditions, and is that a misprint? Are they talking about CC, or is that just something else I don't know?
Oh.
So you don't know anything about Shanann having any kind of medical problem?
No.
Okay. It's Saturday. So there's a phone call Saturday night, actually, from, it can't be Saturday, it had to be Sunday. I wrote that down quickly. Sunday night. Is there anything else you think? Let me just back up from that Saturday where you guys had a meal at the Lazy Dog to prior for the 6 weeks that you guys were serious. And although your dad's here and I think you're probably pretty comfortable, your relationship with Chris can you describe your relationship?
I mean, when he was with me, I considered it to be fairly healthy. It was open communication, and it was what I thought was honest, and it was very calm. It was respectful. We got along really well. He gave me my space when I needed it. I gave him his, and anytime he wanted to take care of it, anytime that his kids could be in his life for hours or days or whatever, whenever they were home, I made sure that I wasn't a presence in his life so that he could be the best dad that he needed to be. And I mean, I thought what we had, it was very comfortable for me. I enjoyed it. I think he did very much as well.
You guys, 6, 8 weeks, 2 months, whatever it was, you guys had an intimate relationship during that time.
Yes.
Okay. So you're pretty serious. Did he ever tell you that he loved you?
Yes, he did.
Did you ever tell him the same?
A couple times.
Okay. Notwithstanding that today, because those thoughts may have changed for you, but on let's go Sunday into Monday or Monday, did you still love him on those days?
I think it was something where it was I said it a few times and I meant it, but he definitely felt the urge to say it to me a lot more than I did to him because it was just all very new to me. And I'm like, take your time with this. You don't need to rush that. I remember when he was in North Carolina and he was trying to patch things up with his wife and he told me he loved me and I was, don't say that to me. Please go try to fit. And I mean, and that might even be in the text too where it's like, don't say those words to me and then go try to make peace with your wife and lay in bed with another woman. Just don't do that. No, it's not that I don't appreciate what you're saying to me. It just didn't sit right for me. So I just
Almost like an insecurity where he had to say that to you? Or?
I don't know. I think he like looking back at all this now, I don't think he was trying to fix things with her. So saying I love you to me seemed probably something that he genuinely meant. I love this woman, and regardless of where he was going to end up that night. But to me, in the way that I was perceiving things, he had told me that he was trying to fix things with her. So it's just, this is an inappropriate time, and I wasn't mad at him. And I'm pretty sure that's in the text too, where it was very calm, but it's almost disrespectful, where it's like, please don't. If we get to that point where it is you and me, yes, you can say that. But not them.
So you thought he was very genuine when he said that?
I did. I mean, and he wrote it in all those cards I gave you. Not in all of them, but like the later.
And
thank you.
when you said it to him, you said you meant it when you said it?
Yes, I just didn't say as frequently as he said it. Sometimes he would say it, and I was just, for me, it was still very, very new, so I kind of took my time and only said it when I was just, this is a really important moment.
So in the short period of time that you guys were together, he
Yes.
became very attached to you.
Yes. Very, very
He's
attached.
sending cards.
Flowers.
He's telling you he loves you. He sends you flowers. Does he buy you any other gifts?
Nope. I wouldn't have wanted them anyways. Flowers is enough. I don't need expensive stuff.
Okay. But he becomes very attached.
Yes.
You guys are talking multiple times a day, at least.
All the time.
You're seeing each other on a regular basis.
Yep.
So it's a very... And his wife is not around, nor are his children. So there's a lot of time for you guys to build your relationship in this first four weeks or so. Is that fair?
Yeah, and even when she was back, I mean, we were still spending time together. He was still spending time with his children, and I had my own life. I mean, there was 1 week where I just went out of town with my friends for my birthday. I wasn't even around the whole last few days of June up until the 3rd of July. I was gone. Then there was another, last weekend, I had a friend impromptu come in town from out of state, and I hosted her for a few days, and I still did my own thing all the time. Whether he was there or not, if my friends were like, hey, we want to make plans, I would tell him, like, we're not hanging out today because I want to go see my mom or my dad.
Did your friends know about him?
Nope.
Why?
Because he's with 2 women right now. They don't need to know about
So
that.
if you had a boyfriend 4 to 8 weeks on a regular, I don't know if you were married prior or if you had a boyfriend before, but if you had a steady boyfriend, you would have let people know. I think you told me before we got started that you just told your dad about Chris.
No, I wouldn't have
recently.
told them. I wouldn't have told
Okay.
people. It's too early. People.
So you don't tell your friends, hey, I
No,
got a
because
boyfriend.
people come and go. Dating scene these days, it sucks. So no, I would have to be something. Even with Sean, I think I was with Sean for probably 6 or 7 months before I brought him home to my family. Really, the same with that was the guy I was in a previous relationship with. But
When you were a little bit more, you said he's with 2 women. Was that one of your considerations for not telling anybody about him?
yes, well, I mean, it was okay. Like this, to me, it wasn't going to be an extended thing. If it got to the point where we were dating for 3 or 4 months and he's still talking about, oh, I'm going to move out and I'm going to sell the house, I think at that point I probably would have just been, I don't think you're really doing these things you say you're going to do, and I probably would have just left because at that point it's not fair. It wasn't fair to me in the first place. It wasn't fair to her in the first place. It wasn't fair to any of us in the first place. It wasn't fair to his family for him to have an affair. It wasn't fair to me to have him lie to me and make me think that everything is going to plan. And still to this day, I don't even know what's a lie and what's not. I don't even know if they were filing for divorce. I don't know if they were putting the house up. I don't even know anymore what is real and what is not. But what I do know is it's just, that wasn't fair to me either, because if I'd have known, not even all the truth, but like obviously some of it, I wouldn't have even engaged in any of this in the first place. And it just, I mean, and that's the part for me, just on my personal level, outside of everything that is happening, that is gonna affect me long term. It's gonna wake up every day and know that this mom and her unborn child and these 2 little girls are not around anymore, and it breaks my heart. It is so, oh my God. And then I have to think about the consequences of his actions and how they affect everybody else. All of these, her family's impacted. My name is about to be slandered for probably a while. I don't know how long it's going to take to heal, but I would not be surprised if it's going to be hard to go out in public sometimes for a couple of years. And that really hurts me. I'm just, this is a horrible, horrible thing. How dare you? And people aren't going to understand that. I'm going to say, oh, you're the woman that had an affair with this man who took out his whole family. And I take a step back and it's just, I didn't know. He's so disgusting. I'm so ashamed of him and everything. And I just, oh, those little girls. They're so little. They're so little.
We talked a little bit earlier about getting some help for these things, and we can provide that.
Okay.
At really no cost. Through the
Oh,
state.
one more. We just want to make sure there's resolution. Why we come to you guys to pound it down
Yeah,
until there's
I'm
nothing left.
sorry that you're talking again today. I really am. I don't want to put you through any more trauma than you've already been through. There is reasons for everything that we're doing today and what occurred. And I'm sorry. I genuinely am sorry. These are not things that we like to do twice. It's the same thing with other types of victims from other crimes. We want to do it once and we want to be done. Unfortunately, we didn't know yesterday what we know today. And that's why we're here, because we need this video. And I am sorry, because I know it's hard to talk about it.
God, it's so sad, and she's pregnant.
And you know, on our end, we
God,
didn't.
and they're so cute. They're so little. Like, wow, why? Ow! I don't even understand how you could bring yourself to do that to somebody who's like that big. Oh, Jesus.
Take a minute. Do you want to step out for a minute?
No, I just need to chill with my eyes closed for a sec. I still cannot believe this is happening. Alright, let's keep going, because we're just getting to the meat of this whole situation.
Let's get to the phone call on Saturday from 9 to 11. What did you guys, or pardon me, on Sunday from 9 to 11?
Yeah, we talked a few times. So, Sunday,
Okay.
I think so. I need to think. I can't even think.
Take a couple breaths and take a second.
Monday night. I don't even know. I don't think I was concerned about anything at that point.
You guys had had a meal the night before. You knew his wife was probably coming home late that evening.
Oh, you know what? I still don't remember what we talked about. I honestly, we talked about so much random stuff. It's so hard to pinpoint some of these things. I don't remember what we talked about. I do remember that was a long phone conversation that we probably talked about all sorts of stuff. One thing I do remember, though, that I didn't remember earlier when I was talking to Mark, so this is where I'm starting to remember little bits and pieces. I don't remember, yeah, I know. So the phone conversation. I don't remember what was in the phone conversation. Probably nothing of relevance, to be honest with you. But usually he talks to me when he's down in the basement in his bed before he goes to bed and before I go to bed. And I could hear the TV on, which I thought was kind of weird. I didn't ask him. I just heard it in the background. And I remember thinking, and it was right before we got off the phone, I was like, why the hell is he up? And there's no TV downstairs. So, well, maybe, I don't know.
No TV in the basement where he usually calls from.
Yeah, and I don't know how many TVs they have. I've never been in their bedroom. I went upstairs once and it was to their little playroom and I just looked at it and I was like, that's super cute that your girls have books, and that was it. And other than that, I have never been in any of those rooms in that upstairs. To me, it was just like, you don't know, ever. I don't know if he has any other TVs. I'm assuming by how much other nice stuff they have in their house, it wouldn't surprise me, so I'm not quite sure what room he was in at that point. But I just remember hearing the TV and it was just weird to me because I was, why are you watching TV right now? It is super late. And that was the only thing.
And he had phoned you, or were you guys already talking when the TV was going? Or
I just remember I picked up on it later, but I don't think it was throughout the whole conversation. Okay. I just remember it being towards the end because I remember thinking, wow, it's really late.
Something I didn't ask you about the house because you'd been there twice, and it just made me remember. Do you remember how you guys accessed it?
That's a good question. So once through the garage, and I think once through the front door. I think the first time was through the front door, and I think the second time was through the garage.
Was there anything unique about either of the doors that might not be typical of another house?
Like a unique door?
Not the
they
door
have a
itself.
camera on their door.
Okay, there's
I know
a
that.
camera on the which door?
It's on the front door, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did he use a key to access the house?
No, he did not. The first time I went over there, he just let me in. And then the second time, did we go through the garage? I don't remember. I've been through his garage before. I went through his front door once, though, because I remember he had just cleaned, it was the first time I went through his front door, because he had just cleaned his carpets, and he had moved all the furniture out of the way, and the furniture was kind of in the way of the door. And the door doesn't open all the way right now. I'll move all the furniture back when the carpet dries. So I do remember that, just kind of offhandedly. And the second time, I want to say we went through his garage, because I remember his garage. I remember, yeah.
So he was at the house when you went there. You were never there by yourself?
He was at... Yeah,
or
no.
he took you there?
The first time, he was already there,
okay.
And I met up with him. And the second time, we went there together.
So the front door, I asked if he had used a key.
He let me in.
Okay. So there's those keypads where you can enter an access code. Do you remember seeing that on his door?
Oh, I want to say vaguely, but to be honest with you, I don't remember. He let me in that day. That
So
was
he
so long ago.
He never gave you the code to access his home?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
You talked about a security system. There was a camera on the front door. Was that just a ring doorbell that goes to your phone?
I don't even know what it looked like. I only know that it existed either because A, I wasn't paying attention the first time I was over there, but B, because of all the stuff that's going on right now. That's the only reason I know it's in
Did you remember
existence.
seeing any cameras anywhere in the house?
No.
Okay. Did he ever tell you about the alarm system or give you an access code to the alarm system?
No. I wouldn't have asked for that. I wouldn't have wanted that anyways.
Sorry to regress to that.
No, you're okay.
Go back to the phone call, or where you noticed the television in the background of the phone call.
Yeah, so I didn't know what room he was in, but I just thought it was weird, because he's always, before I go to bed and I lay down, he's always kind of trying to do the same thing. We just talk. It's like a really chill thing till one of us is about to pass out, and then that's the end of it. But it was strange, because I was like, the TV's on. I remember I was thinking, maybe he's waiting up for her. And then, maybe not. I didn't know. It wasn't something that alerted me. It was just different from his standard operating procedure. Because whether his wife is home or she's gone, he's always got kind of the standard op when he calls. So that's why it was kind of unique. Because it doesn't really fluctuate when she's there and when she's not there. He's pretty free reign with what he does.
So anything important that you recall during that conversation about the children, about his wife, about what he was doing the next day, what he had planned, anything that? Did he tell you any of that information?
I remember he told me he had to go to the field and not to the office on Monday morning.
Okay. Did he specifically say where he needed to go on Monday morning?
No, I don't ask him for those sites. Anadarko's got thousands of sites. If he were to tell me, I wouldn't even
They're
know.
just random numbers and stuff, right?
Well, he told me, he said, I gotta go to a site. I gotta go check a valve or something where they think that they had a release. Something like that.
Town or anywhere?
No. He just told me that that's what he had to go do. He was like, I won't see you in the office in the morning. Because I see him, but I don't actually talk to him. I will go in the cafeteria, I will put my lunch in the fridge, and him and his whole team are sitting in there, and I don't talk to any of them. I just walk out. But anyways, yeah, he's like, so I won't see you, I'm going to the field, which is not an uncommon thing for the ops guys to just go straight to the field. Like, it happens. Typically, they go to the office, I would say 3 or 4 days a week, but there are days where him and his other team members are not there. Or I'll get in there, and some days days the cafeteria is packed and they're all there. And other days I get in there and there's only 3 or 4 of them.
So it didn't cause you any concern that he said,
No.
I'm going to the field on Monday, I won't see you. That wasn't...
No,
That's
it
happened
didn't.
before.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't something, and it's not just him, it's that whole team. You can just tell when they've got a lot going on, because I'll walk in and the 2 of them, as opposed to 6 or 7.
Do you know what he did Sunday during the day?
I don't even know what I did on Sunday during the day. I am so tired. Let me just think about this. Daniel came over Friday, I hung out with him Saturday, and then Sunday...
When did Jim come in?
Monday.
Huh.
Jim got here Monday. What did I do on Sunday? I'm drawing a blank. I'm really tired. I don't know. Can I get back to you on that?
Did you guys have any conversations on Saturday night during your meal, what he might be doing on Sunday?
I'm sure we did. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank because I haven't slept.
If I say that he may have done something with his children, would that refresh
Oh, yes.
your memory?
He went to a birthday party.
Okay. Do you know whose house he was going to?
Nope, but I know that they had a water balloon fight.
Okay. He had one or his children?
His children did.
Okay.
He said he used to get really into it. He said he got really interactive with his kids. Some of the adults don't really spend a lot of time playing with the kids, but
We
I
went
always
to
do.
the museum on what day? Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Okay.
That's right. So that's what I was like, was I hanging out with you? God.
Very memorable event, huh?
Me and him and my stepmother and my
wife
sister
and-
went to the museum, and
What
that's
museum?
right, the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. And they went to brunch prior to that, and I skipped brunch, and I went to the gym.
You shouldn't have. It was good.
I had to do core day. That was the last time I worked out, actually.
That's
So
what
I
we did Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, so core day, and then we went to the museum, and then
When did he tell you about the water balloon fight on Sunday evening during your conversation on the phone?
I think so.
Okay.
I
So
think
you don't
so.
know whose house he went to on Sunday, but you knew it was for a child's birthday?
Yeah, and he had told me about that in advance early, so I don't know if it was Saturday that he had told me that he was going to go that birthday, Friday. I just remember I got to go to this birthday party.
Okay. Any other conversation that makes sense?
I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm really tired, so I know there are certain things that I need to tell you guys that we'll get to as these days progress.
Yep.
But in all honesty, if it doesn't stand out to me now,
Today?
it probably
That's
wasn't relevant.
What about that 9 o'clock thing you were telling me on Monday?
Oh, that he told me? Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We're still on Sunday.
So we're on
night.
Sunday.
We're
gonna get to-
literally-
we're gonna
I
get
know,
to-
This is going to be a long
We're going to
night.
get there to Monday. We're getting there. So Sunday night, or Sunday during the day, you had your own personal stuff going on with your family. You never see him on Sunday. Is that accurate?
No, I didn't see him. What did I do the rest of the day? I came home. I think I might have just chilled at my house. I don't remember. I think I cleaned my house. I don't know. I didn't see him, though.
Okay. And,
Yeah, Saturday was the last time I saw him.
Okay. Sunday, you're at home. You talk to him. We know you have a conversation in the late evening hours, and then you go to sleep on Sunday night. When's the next time you talk with Chris?
Probably Monday morning.
Do you know what time?
No, I mean, so we randomly text each other throughout the day, but we both get really busy. So some days I don't hear a lot from him, and some days I don't text him until 2 o'clock in the afternoon because I'm busy. And I remember I didn't hear a lot from him that day, that's not out of the normal for either one of us during the day. But at one point I do remember he texted me and he's, oh, it's been a really busy day. And then he said some other stuff, which I'm sure you will find in my text. What he said, I don't know. It wasn't obviously anything that was alerting to me. But that's what I'm saying. At this point, I remember really key things, but if it's a conversation that I don't remember exactly what was discussed, it's because it was probably just bullshit, just talking to each other. Yeah.
Small talk stuff.
Yeah. But I remember he was busy that day, and we didn't talk that much. And then I clocked out at 3 is what my time card says. That's what I was showing Mark the other day. And I got home to go meet my buddy. One of my good friends was coming over my house, and he actually has a key to my house, so he was actually there when I got there. And
Who's that?
my friend Jim. And so Jim came over, and I got home. He was there. He had just walked in the door. And I remember briefly after he got there, I checked my texts. I mean, briefly after I met up with Jim, I glanced at my texts. And Chris said something about my family's not home, or my wife and kids aren't home. Something to that effect. And I told Mark, because he asked me for a time. And I don't have an exact time, but I remember it was right after I walked in.
That was a text message, though.
Yeah, it's in a text. And it was briefly after I walked in the door, so based off how long it takes me to get home from work and when I clocked out, it was probably about 3:45 p.m. Texts me and tells me that. And he knows when I get off of work, too, so he doesn't always bug me if I'm busy. So I don't know what's up with that, but that's when he sends that to me. And
So you're saying that he would have known that you would have had your phone available to you and not been at work when he sent you that text message?
yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
So looking back at it, you think it was purposefully sent at that time?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm just asking your feeling on that.
Yes, and then he said, call me when you can. And I was
There was no other communication between you and him that morning on Monday morning?
well,
at all?
there was, but it was random.
But nothing about this event?
No.
About, like, my wife's missing, or
No.
anything?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
And you knew he wasn't coming to the office because he had told you that Sunday night?
Yeah, and then he goes, and so they're only in the office for the morning. Some days it's longer than others, but I would say by a maximum of 7:30 every single morning, they are all gone, and they don't come back unless they have a meeting or something that they have to attend. So not seeing him for the rest of the day is not like an unnormal thing.
Right.
But I'm saying we don't really, the only reason we interact was kind of by an off chance thing. I don't work with him. So he, we talked randomly throughout the day, but it was really sporadic, and he seemed pretty busy, so we didn't talk too much. Like I said, didn't put too much thought into it. It happens all the time. Waited till about 3:45, then sent that text to me. And yes, he does know that I will be home at that point, or getting home.
Do you give Mark Jim's information?
No, I would really not involve him in this. He does not know about this. He doesn't know any of this is occurring.
Okay.
I was literally
so he knows, certainly media, that something's occurred.
Yeah, he's
With
out of
us.
town. He's probably has no
Okay.
idea. He doesn't know
Okay.
who Chris is. He's not, I do not know.
So he's just a friend of yours
Yes, he does
that
not need
was
to be
coming
dragged
to
into
your
this.
apartment and doesn't know anything about Chris. Does he know anything about
No,
Chris? Okay.
nothing. Absolutely
Yeah, we've
not.
known Jim for
Yeah.
years and years.
Yeah.
You're not dating him or anything like that.
No,
It's just a
he's
friend.
one of my very good friends. My dad knows him. He's a great guy. He works out of state a lot, so when he's in town, we hang out. But when he's in town and he's off of work to save time, so I give him a key to my house, one, because I trust him and he's one of my best friends, and two, because sometimes he will just meet me there, because I'll be, hey, I'm getting off of work, and then if I get stuck in traffic or something, he ends up sitting outside of my apartment waiting for me to get off of work, so here's a key, and my dog loves him and stuff, so no, he's not
So he's just
involved with
family
it.
friend.
Yes, I don't even
The only
want
reason
him
I asked,
dragged into this.
and I'm not really concerned about your location. I think we already have your cell phone records. At some point, did Mark ask you to supply? Did they ask for consent to get cell phone records? That'll probably be done by warrant. If we
Isn't
wanted,
that what you just did?
nope. What I'm talking about is your movement.
Oh.
By GPS or by cell phone tower to show where you were, obviously, and I don't want to cause you concern. We want to know where you were that day too. You're dating a man who did some egregious stuff, and we want to show that you were never near him that day. Period.
I mean, you guys
So-
can track my
No,
stuff.
yeah, I mean that was something we will have to get a warrant for, anyways. I'm just saying, if we asked for it, would you have any objections to that?
No, you can have
Right.
it.
So
I'm
we'll-
a pretty boring person.
well,
I don't
it sounds
go
like
too
you
many
just went
places.
to work that day, and then you came home and you were there at 3:45.
Yeah, give or
Monday.
take 5
Yeah,
minutes,
right.
but yeah, so 3:45. I meet Jim there. Yeah, I would
And
totally.
so
rather-
Jim is understand from an investigative point, he could be a person who could say, yeah, I was there at 3:45. He doesn't know Chris. He doesn't know anything. He could say with one phone call, yeah, she came in at 3:45. Done.
Totally.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't have to ask anything more than, hi, Chris, my name's Kevin. or Jim. And I'm not saying you have to give it to you.
Just leave Jim
But
alone.
if-
Jim
if
does
at
not need to
some
be wrapped
point-
up in this.
If at some point I needed Jim's info to, let's say we couldn't find your phone records, would you
You
tell
can
me who
have
Jim
them.
was?
I will give them to you.
Would you tell me who Jim was if I
If
couldn't
you
get
had
it?
to.
Okay.
I don't really want to
Correct.
involve him in this. That is not
Perfect.
fair to him. That's not, no, if I do not have to do that.
That's fine.
Yeah, so anyways, Chris was call me.
And this is the 3:45 text.
Yeah, he sent me a few. I think there was 3 of them, and I don't remember what the other one said. But something about, yeah, my family's gone, or I don't remember verbatim, but call me when you can, or call me when you have a chance. Something to that effect. And so when he told me call me, I was kind of alerted where I was, okay, what's going on? But first when he told me his family was not home, that didn't really seem odd to me that his family wasn't home. It was really vague. I'm okay, are they at the grocery store? Elaborate. But he says call me like it's an emergency, but then just says that they're not there. And so I'm really floored by that. Well, not floored, but just kind of, he says call me, so I'm concerned, and then he's really vague, so maybe he just wants to talk to me? I don't know. I think it took me a little while to really process the severity of the situation, just because this is not something that you expect to see every day, and the way that he talked to me made me believe that this is not what was going on at all.
Okay, so you make a phone call to him and you guys have a conversation.
I did. I stepped outside.
3:45.
Ish. I mean, well, I think I actually interacted with Jim for probably a good 15 or 20 minutes. I mean, he's my guest. He's in my house. house. So I don't think I called him right away, but I mean, I'm trying to balance the fact that I have my friend here, and then Chris is saying that something needs to be addressed, but to me, it didn't sound like an emergency. I mean, it's all the time. People aren't home right now. You know, so it wasn't, oh my God, I have to take this call. It's an emergency. No. I mean, it was the way he said it, and I was, okay. So I remember hanging out with Jim for a while, and then I stepped outside, and I made a call out on my back patio, and I called him. He didn't answer the phone. And then he texted me back. Or no, did he answer the phone? I don't remember. I think he missed my call and then called me back, or he just answered. Either way, it was a very short talk to him where he was just, I have to go. Cops are here. And I don't remember if he said that on the phone or over text. I'm so tired.
That's fine. You don't
But
need
either way,
it's
the cops,
the context.
Yeah, I mean, you guys will figure it out. The cops are here. And I'm just, all right. And then I remember we were texting, but I was hanging out with my company, so it wasn't a nonstop text. It was just Kai would check my phone every once in a while, and we would communicate with each other. And he was just saying they weren't there, and that her friend Nikki was there, and that her friend Nikki had called the cops. And why would this girl call the cops? And I honestly do not remember the order of operations on all of this, but I'm pretty sure the majority of our conversation that night until my friend Jim left the house, which was probably pretty late, I don't even know what time, 9 or 10, was all via text. So you should have this via text. I don't think we started talking again on the phone until after my company left. And he was, I don't know, he just started giving me details about stuff, and I don't remember what order, but he was saying Nikki was really upset, and that the cops were there, and that they were searching the house, and I was just, what, why? And he was telling me that they had had a disagreement or something like that, and then he told me she was going to go to a friend's house, and I was, okay, well, maybe she left. Maybe she just went to her friends. And then I think I don't remember, but I think he was the one that told me that her cell phone and her purse were still there. I think he told me that.
He told you her cell phone and purse were still there?
I think he did. I don't remember.
What's the significance of that in your mind at that time?
At that point, I thought this woman was really trying to get out of this house. That's what I thought. Because he said that they'd had a disagreement, and I was just, okay, well, I mean, I leave my cell phone at home.
When he said disagreement, what did he tell you what it was about? Or
Not at that point. Not at that point. So, again, you guys are going to have to check these texts, because it's all, my brain feels like a mashed potato right now. But I remember him saying that, and I'm just thinking, well, maybe she was in a rush. Maybe she was just, I'm going to my friends. I'm leaving my cell phone here because I don't want you calling me. I don't want anyone else calling me. I mean, there are days where when I'm outside of work, I will just shut my phone off. I just do it, and it's my way of getting peace. So to me, it was weird that it wasn't even that weird to me that she left her phone just because I leave my phone, but it was weird to me that she left her purse. But knowing the fact that girl was always on her phone, then yeah, I guess it is kind of odd.
Well, she lived on her phone, I think,
yeah.
pretty much, is my understanding of her and a phone. So I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Until prior to the media stuff, or just from Chris.
I did.
So did that strike you as odd? But you're thinking maybe she just left.
I just thought she needed to get away from the situation. I mean, that didn't seem that awkward to me, that a couple that is going through a separation would be, I need to leave. I just need some space. It didn't even process. It was, okay, give her some space. And on that note, too, when he was in, we're going to jump back for just a second because I had a thought. So when he was coming back from North Carolina, that was when he officially told me, we're going to get a divorce. I'm going to put the house up for sale. He told me they were separating and they were going to put the house up for sale, but they hadn't done it yet. And then when he got back from North Carolina, that was when he was sealed deal.
Okay.
And the reason that is of significance is because at some point over the weekend, I don't remember when, he told me that they were putting the house up. I don't know if it was they were putting it up on Monday, the day they went missing, or if it was that they were calling the realtor to verify some stuff so they could put it up that week. I don't quite remember. I just remember the house was supposed to be on the market that week.
Did he name a realtor ever?
Yeah, he did, and I don't remember her name. It was a female.
Okay.
And I don't remember her name at all. I was trying to think of that for you guys not too long ago.
So the company? Do you got the company name?
No, he never gave me that. He gave me her name, and it was the same name twice. He gave it to me once when he was in North Carolina, and then once the other time. Because I remember asking him, who's that? Because I'm going to have her call so-and-so today and make sure everything's still good to go. Who's that? Your realtor. Oh, or not today, but
if it ever comes
Monday.
to your mind, just...
Yeah, I doubt it. That was such a... Yeah. I will try. I don't remember what it was.
It's fine. It's not that critical. That person may come forward to us anyways, perhaps. So
okay.
Don't worry about it. Let's go back to the phone calls on Monday afternoon.
Yeah, so he's texting me a lot of this information, and I'm starting to kind of freak out. And it's not like I'm freaked out, oh, she got murdered. I mean, that is not what I thought. It's okay. The way I looked at this, apparently his wife had been gone since midday, was when she got reported missing. I didn't know that. The way I looked at this, it was, I got home from work just now. I mean, he didn't say that, but I interpreted, I just got home from work, and my family is not here. So when we're texting for a few hours, the cop thing was kind of weird, but Nikki insisted they call the cops. Nikki insisted they call the cops, and I'm okay. I'm just trying to figure out, well, what role does this woman play in this situation? Is she...
Did you know who she was?
No, I don't know any of his people. This has been pretty tight wrap for a while, which is probably a really good thing. But anyways, I didn't know who she was, and so I started asking him, I was, where do you think your wife is at? And he's I think she'll be back tonight. I think she's out with somebody. And he was telling me that they had a disagreement, so I was, well, I remember telling him, you should make sure that you have oh, wait a minute, no. So all that happened, and then it starts getting kind of laid out. And I remember we talked for text for a while, and part of this conversation, and then it moved to the phone. And I remember telling him, because he was, I think she'll just be back tomorrow. I think she's just going to be gone for the night with a friend. And
He named the friend?
no, he didn't. And because I don't think, he made it sound like he didn't know what friend's house she would be at. And I remember talking to him, and I was, well, maybe it's that Nikki girl. And he's, well, Nikki called the cops, so why would she be at Nikki's house? I don't know, kind of throws her off the trail of where she's at. You know, it sounds kind of weird, but he really made this sound, this woman was just upset, left the house, and that was probably what he thought happened to her. And so I didn't really put too much.
Did he tell you the kids were missing as well?
Yes, I knew.
Okay.
I mean, which made sense to me, because I was, well, if you were at work all day, I mean, he didn't tell me he got home early. He didn't say that to me. So, I mean, it made sense. If she's going to leave, they should probably go with her. And so, I don't know. I feel like I should have processed all of this earlier, but I just don't feel, when one of my friends is gone, I'm, oh my God.